YouTube, my name is Jake Asman. Welcome in to my channel. This is the Jake Asman Show for a Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. We are another day closer to the start of the NFL regular season. Tomorrow night, Cowboys and Bucs start us off. Sunday, Jets at the Panthers to take on Sam Darnold and company. More on this game coming up, but first, as I always do at the beginning of every video, I ask that you please subscribe down below. If you don't already, like this video, give me a thumbs up. Click that thumbs up if you already subscribe. It goes a long way towards helping the channel grow. And please follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you want to interact there. At Jake Asman is where you could do exactly that. So more on this game coming up here with the Jets and the Panthers. I was thinking a lot about, well, what has to happen if the Jets were going to win this game? And think about it. The Jets are a slight underdog in this game. It's not, a touchdown. It's not, double digits. It's 5 points. In fact, I've seen some lines that have the Jets anywhere from a 4.5 to 5 point underdog. So that means it's probably going to be close. It's probably going to be a one-score game. So when I'm looking at, just the things the Jets are going to have to do here if they're going to win, to me, there's 5 things that immediately stand out. Just like these are the things the Jets have to do if they're going to win. And the first one that I thought of is, can they force some turnovers defensively? We know Sam Darnold is susceptible to a turnover. We understand that sometimes Sam Darnold will throw into triple coverage. He'll throw into double coverage. He's learning a new offense. Yes, he's in his 4th year, but he's still going out there playing with guys for the first time. Sam Darnold did not play much in the preseason. He played about a half in the Panthers' final preseason game. So I feel as if there could be a turnover or two that's up for grabs that the Jets, if they're going to win, they need to go out there and they need to take full advantage of those opportunities. So I think winning the turnover, I think that is ultimately, going to potentially decide this game. Because I've been on the record, I think this game is close. I think this game could be decided by, 3 points or even less. I think it's close. I don't think either team blows out the other. I'd be really surprised if for either side, this game ends up being a blowout. So turnover battle, I think, is the number one key for the Jets if they're going to win this game on Sunday. There's no doubt about that. Now, the second thing that I want to bring up here, the key for the Jets to win, they have to be really good on special teams. The Panthers have more talent than the Jets do. It's not a whole lot more, but they got more talent, right? You look at some of their offensive players, some of their key defensive guys. It's not overwhelming, but they have clearly, some more talent than the Jets do, I would say, overall. The Jets being really good on special teams, though, could be the difference in a game like this. And I don't just mean, punts and kick returns and making sure you don't give up any, big plays on special teams. I go back to what happened in 2019, week 1 against the Bills, when the Jets kicker, who's no longer on the team, thankfully, the guy they traded with the Vikings to acquire, he single-handedly, you could argue, cost them that game. Missed multiple field goals, missed a PAT. Like that was such an ugly way to lose week 1 in 2019 against Buffalo. The Jets need to hit their kicks. Like, I know Amendola is a rookie, and we don't know what to expect from him, but he looked really good in the preseason, had that 50-plus yarder against the Packers. He looked really good in all the opportunities he had. The Jets clearly believe in him because after that game, they just said, you're the guy. They never brought in another kicker after that. So I really hope that Amendola, because I think he'll get opportunities here. I hope he's really good at kicking field goals because I think this game will be close, and that could honestly be the difference in whether or not the Jets win this game, how they do in the kicking department. That includes punting as well. Field position will be big here. Make Sam Darnold have to drive the length of the field. He'll be more susceptible to give you a turnover. But I really think, the Jets' ability or inability to execute on special teams could be a big factor in this game, because if the Jets are going to overachieve this year, you're going to really need all 3 phases of the football team to come together at once. I think that's obvious, but it goes without saying when you talk about a game like this. I mean, it's not like the Panthers are world beaters. They won 5 games last year. This is not a great team. I think they've improved in some areas of their team this offseason, but it's not like, you play Sam Darnold and you think there's no way the Jets can win this game. I think we all would be foolish to buy into that notion. Now, as far as other things the Jets are going to have to do here if they're going to win, The next item to address is Christian McCaffrey. He's coming off injury. I'm curious to see what the workload will be like for McCaffrey in this game for the Panthers. He's clearly the best player on the field, though. He's the most dynamic offensive weapon, offensive player. I want to see how the Jets hopefully try and slow him down. Now, he'll make plays he's too good not to, but can the Jets try and limit some of the massive plays that McCaffrey will have down the field? Can they go out there and on 3rd and long, not give up the big play on the screen that McCaffrey takes 25 plus yards down the field or gives up the big play that he takes to the house? They could limit the destruction that McCaffrey is capable of. You obviously increase your chances of winning this game. So trying to just slow down Christian McCaffrey and not allow him to be the reason why you lose this type of game, that to me is a big key here for the New York Jets in this one. And then the next thing I'm looking at here is, can Zach Wilson create some big plays off schedule when the play breaks down? Like the thing that's going to help the Jets win this type of game is if Zach Wilson goes out there and he could he could create plays with his legs. He could create plays outside the pocket. Like, the Jets have the weapons to make plays down the field. I expect a big game from Corey Davis. I expect Elijah Moore to make a bunch of plays in this offense. Like, I really think if Zach Wilson can go out there and limit the turnovers, right, limit some of the mistakes that a rookie's definitely going to make, but make plays downfield when the opportunity is there, that could change field position. That could change momentum. The big plays have to go the Jets' way if they're going to win here. And I think Zach Wilson's the type of quarterback that's not going to play scared. I think Wilson's the type of quarterback that can go out there and execute what they're going to have in the game plan. I don't expect the Jets to have a conservative approach and turtle up. Like, they go into this game feeling like the offense that they're going to run, they're going to be able to run successfully regardless of who they're playing. I don't think the Jets look at the Panthers like it's a defense they can't use their normal offense against. I don't think that will be the case. So Wilson making plays when the pocket breaks down, because the Panthers have a good defensive line. They got some guys that are going to get in there and create some plays. What makes Wilson special is when he's on the run, when he's improvising. They're going to need some of those type of plays if they're going to win this game. So Wilson improvising, Wilson making plays out of the pocket, a big factor here in the Jets winning this game. When Sam gets outside the pocket, we've seen Sam susceptible to forcing a play, forcing that pass, throwing into triple coverage. Jets got to take advantage of that and hope that Wilson on the other side goes out there and makes plays when he has the opportunity to do exactly that. The final key for me, can the Jets defense get a semblance of a pass rush on Sam? Now, the matchup to watch here is the Jets' interior defensive line against the Panthers' interior offensive line. I think that's advantage Jets. There are some spots where the Panthers obviously have the advantage over the Jets, right? The Panthers wide receivers against the Jets secondary is advantage Panthers. No one would deny that. But I think the Jets really could go out there and set the tone early from a defensive line standpoint here. Like, I'm expecting a big game from Quinnen Williams and Sheldon Rankins. Like, Quinnen Williams now going into year 3, he needs to be the Jets' best defensive player this year for them to be really good. That guy was going to be Carl Lawson. We can't sugarcoat it. That is a massive blow for this defense. But I really think that the Jets' defensive line, specifically the interior D-line, could make life difficult for Sam Darnold here. And if they get pressure on Sam, maybe some pressure gets to him. Maybe he's susceptible to that bad fumble, that bad INT. Quinnen Williams and Sheldon Rankins, the two guys on that interior defensive line that need to have really big games, but the Jets are going to pull this one out. I think that goes without saying. Now, here's my X factor for the game, though, right? So those are some keys to how the Jets win. Here's an X factor in all this. What if Elijah Moore just goes off? Like, what if Elijah Moore, who doesn't have a whole lot of film on him because he didn't play in the preseason, what if the Panthers just can't cover Elijah Moore? They're going to be putting J.C. Horn, their draft pick, on Corey Davis. Well, Elijah Moore could be open. We know the chemistry that Zach Wilson already has with Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore is the type of player that on 3rd down, you need a play. He's going to be that backbreaker receiver that moves the chains, that flusters defenses, that flusters opposing teams' fans when they say, how can't we cover this guy? How can't we stop this guy? I think the Jets win this game if Moore has a big game. I think he's kind of the engine that will drive this team. Obviously, Zach Wilson's the most important Jets offensive player of the season, but the X factor on this offense, the guy that could take this offense from average to really good, the guy that could take this team to a step above where most people think they're going to be, I think it's Elijah Moore, man. He's been my favorite pick they've made in years. Even before I knew he was an option for the Jets in the 2nd round, I wanted the Jets to use the 16th pick in the draft on him, or excuse me, the 23rd overall pick in the draft on him. I mean, to me, he was a top 15, top 16 player as far as overall prospects. I was shocked that he was there at pick 34. I feel like we could get the coming out party for Elijah Moore. And, it's interesting. Moore didn't play in the preseason. He dominated the early portions of training camp, and then he dealt with that quad injury. Kind of feels like we haven't heard a whole lot about Elijah Moore of late. I feel like this could be his reminder, oh, yeah, I'm damn good, type of performance. So if Elijah Moore goes out there and has a day, as Jets Forever writes in the comments, I see, you're talking about an outcome that could be decided based on how he does, right? Third down, the money down, move the chains. I think Elijah Moore is going to be a guy that is going to be the beneficiary of a lot of targets, specifically targets when the Jets know one play, move the chains, keep the drive alive. Elijah Moore, I believe, will be that guy. So with that being said, we got still a couple days to go until the game. How does everyone feel right now? Comment your thoughts. How do you feel about this Jets team entering this game against the Panthers on Sunday? Are you as optimistic as I am that the foundation's being set and the Jets are in position for long-term success here? Do you feel good about this game in particular? Look, it's a winnable game. I think the Jets, it's important for them with a new regime to get off to a good start. So winning this game, I think, would be really important. It would kind of alleviate some of the pressure of having to deal with New England in week 2. Yeah, New England starting a rookie quarterback, there's no doubt, but you're at home, and just think about how loud MetLife is going to be if the Jets win week 1. It will be loud either way. We know Jet fans are going to come out and support this team in the home opener next week, but it's going to be one of those things where if they can win week 1 and go back home against the Patriots in week 2, I mean, it's going to be bedlam at MetLife Stadium. It's going to be a rowdy atmosphere. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I think getting off to a good start here would go a long way. There's no doubt about that. Let me see here. Let's go through some of the comments. I appreciate all of you watching here. Frosty Taco writes in, I hope it doesn't turn into a shootout because the Jets are not the best of them, but now I would like to think we finally have an offense to be able to fight in those games. Yeah, anything you've seen from the Jets offensively the last couple of years, flush it down the toilet, flush it out the window. We don't know what this team is yet, but we know they can't be any worse offensively than they had been under Adam Gase. There's just no doubt about that. So, yeah, I mean, if the Jets ever were in a shootout, they were never going to win in years past. Well, I think there's a chance this year, especially as the year goes on, that this offense continues to improve and they'll make some plays. Eric writes in, win the game as long as Robbie doesn't burn us. I'm good. Yeah, look, Robbie Anderson could make some plays here. That's going to happen. I think there's going to be some points scored in this game. I'd probably bet the over if I had to, put a wager on the point total. I think the over-under is around like 44.5. I could be wrong. I think that was the last number that I saw. I expect this game to go over. I think there'll be points scored in this game. I really do. Sam will throw 2 interceptions since they have an injured O-line. He'll be pressured and forced to make mistakes. That's how the Jets win, if they force turnovers. Win the turnover battle. It goes a long way. Now, one thing you could say about Zach Wilson in college, he did not throw a lot of interceptions. Sam Darnold did throw a lot of interceptions in college, and the Jets were hoping they could kind of correct that at the NFL level. It obviously never happened. Sam's going to give the Jets a couple plays here. The Jets got to take advantage of those plays if they're going to win. David writes in, Jake, since you're from Long Island, where's the best sports bar in Nassau that I can watch the Jets with nothing but crazy Jets fans? David, I would say Main Event in Plainview or Farmingdale were usually my top 2 go-tos on Long Island. If I'm watching the Jets, I would watch the Jets every week with my dad and my uncle. We usually would go Main Event either in the Plainview location or the Farmingdale location if you want a really good sports bar in Nassau County to watch the Jets. Now, I guess technically the Farmingdale location is Suffolk County, but it's right on the border of Nassau and Suffolk. The Plainview location is the original location for Main Event. That is in Plainview, New York, in Nassau County. Malcolm writes in, the line number is 5.5 in favor of the Panthers. The over-under is 44.5. I think the Jets are not only going to win Sunday, but cover the 5.5, 27-21 Jets. Look, if the Jets end up winning 27-21, I mean, wouldn't be shocked. I'm not going to say that they're going to win. I think it's going to be close. I think the Jets, though, have a great chance to cover the number. I would take the 5.5 points in this game. There's no doubt about that. Now, I'm seeing 5 at the sports book that I use right now. So, this line's kind of moved. I think you could get it at 4.5 in some places. Malcolm apparently seeing 5.5. I think the Jets cover regardless what the number is. I really do. So I'm in favor of that. Let's see. What do we got here? If we get in Sam's face all day, we've seen how he deals with it. I think we got a good chance. Yeah, getting pressure on the quarterback, it's cliche, but that is key. There's no doubt about that. I see Drew makes the point that I was making earlier. Quinnen Williams and Sheldon Rankins versus the Panthers' backup right guard should be terrifying for Darnold. That's how they win. Got to get pressure. The Jets are counting on Quinnen Williams to be this team's best player on defense. There's no Carl Lawson. CJ Mosley still good, but he plays a less premium position than what Quinnen Williams plays. Defensive line has to have an impact in this game, has to get in Sam's face, has to potentially force some turnovers if they're going to go out there and make some plays. Who picks Sam off first? Who are you betting on? Let's go Marcus May, right? Marcus May playing for a new contract. Let's go Marcus May picking off his old buddy Sam Darnold here. There's no doubt about that. Motivated T. There's not a receiver on Carolina better than Corey Davis. You could argue that. I think Panthers fans would tell you DJ Moore is in that conversation. Obviously, we know where Robbie Anderson is. Let's see what Corey Davis is. I'm very optimistic on Corey Davis. I don't think Carolina is light years better offensively, skill-wise, than the Jets, but Carolina has Christian McCaffrey and the Jets don't. So that's the difference maker here, right? The Jets have some guys at running back we're hopeful for. Carolina has arguably the most impactful playmaker at the running back position. There's a reason why, if you play fantasy football, Christian McCaffrey in most leagues was going 1-1 in the draft. I mean, that just kind of puts it in perspective on kind of where, the Panthers are as far as the talent they have with McCaffrey compared to some of the weapons the Jets have on offense. Doesn't mean the Jets can't win, though, but that's just a fact that McCaffrey is the best offensive player on the field in this game on Sunday, and limiting some of the big plays he's going to make because he's really good. That's going to be key if the Jets are going to win this game. Steven writes in, I just want to see that we're not the same old Jets. Winning on Sunday would go a long way towards the Jets not being the same old Jets. There's certainly no doubt about that. Winning on Sunday will go a long way towards that narrative. It'd be nice for the Jets to get off to a good start. I mean, think about it. The Jets have lost week 1 the last couple years of the season. The last time the Jets won week 1, you had to go back to the Sam Darnold year in 2018 Monday night against the Lions. And even though that feeling of winning didn't last all that long, wasn't that a great night in hindsight? Like, it felt like, oh, there's a new era of Jets football, a new quarterback. Here we go. And the Jets defense forced all those turnovers that night. Like, can we get at least a moment on Sunday? Like, wouldn't it be nice if we're going through 2 years of Adam Gase to win this game on Sunday and feel good for at least the day about where this team is headed? I feel good overall where this team's headed. But obviously, if you lose on Sunday, you're going to be bummed out. You want to win. So winning on Sunday would feel great for all the Jet fans that have been riding with this team through all the nonsense, specifically the last couple of years. PCR writes in, I know it's hard to believe, but trust me, it's a little hard for me to believe, too. I've been a fan of this team for 20 years, but I think they finally start to turn it around and be competent. I think they'll be competent this year. I think the schedule's difficult at times. They're going to lose some games, but I'm not necessarily looking at the wins and losses. I talked about this in Tuesday's video. I'm looking for the Jets to show improvement throughout the course of the season. I'm looking for Zach Wilson to establish himself as this team's quarterback of the future. And I'm looking for Robert Saleh to coach up the young guys on this team, the Jets to get better as the year goes on. I think the team we see now will not be as good of a team as the Jets team that we see in December. And that's how it should be, right? The Jets want to lay the foundation this year so they could be a playoff team in 2022. 7 draft picks in the first 4 rounds. Salary cap flexibility. 2 1s, 2 2s. The Jets are set up for long-term success, but this is a building block year so they can establish themselves here in 2021 to be ready to win in 2022. That is key for this team to go out there and be a perennial playoff team. Like, it starts with the quarterback and the head coach. As you lay the foundation, that's the key for this team going forward. Seen an article where the Jets can go 0-6 until they meet Cincinnati on Halloween. I saw that same story from Brian Costello in the New York Post in his preview. He warned that, don't be surprised if the Jets start 0-6. The Jets will not start 0-6. If they do, I'd be shocked. I really do. Do I think they're going 6-0? No. Do I think they're going to be 0-6 at Halloween? I do not. I think the Jets will get off to a decent start. I can see the Jets 3-3 even through their first 6 games. I really do. I do not think that they're going to be 0-6 at Halloween. I think that's I think it's a stretch. Sinkhead. CJ Mosley is the linchpin to the defensive success. He would direct the defense. Mosley coming back is big. He obviously hears all the people saying, well, is he going to be the same player? He hasn't played in really 2 years. What's he going to be? I hope that's a motivation, a motivating factor for a guy like CJ Mosley. I mean, there's no doubt if CJ Mosley gives you the performance he gave you against the Bills through 3 quarters, and he does that against the Panthers on Sunday, the Jets are winning this game. That's how dominant CJ Mosley was in that game against the Bills. It's no coincidence that when he got hurt in that game in 2019 in week 1, the team collapsed without him. I mean, they were a totally different team without him out there. Hopefully he has that type of impact in this game on Sunday. It will go a long way towards the Jets winning this game. V-Man writes in, Jets 33, 27 winners over the Panthers. Wilson, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. V-Man, from your lips to God's ears, my friend, please. That would be wonderful. What is the chance Zach is the generational quarterback and not Trevor? It happens. Go look up how many times the guy that was picked first in the draft ends up actually being the best quarterback from that draft class. Like, you could argue, if you go back through recent NFL history, that a lot of times it's the guy that's taken after the first overall pick ends up being the best quarterback from the class, right? Baker Mayfield goes 1 in 2018. Well, so far, you could argue that both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have been better than Baker Mayfield. You could look at a bunch of different years where the number 1 pick doesn't always end up being the best quarterback in the class. Go back to 2004, Eli Manning, right? Hall of Famer, great career, obviously, but you could argue Big Ben's been the best player from that draft class, or some might say Phillip Rivers. So there's no rule that says if Trevor's really good, Zach can't also be good, right? I mean, like if I say Zach Wilson ends up having the career like Eli Manning, you tattoo that on your body instantly if I can guarantee that for you, right? I mean, like, all you want to see is Zach be a franchise quarterback. I don't care if he's better than Trevor or worse than Trevor. There's no rule that both those guys can't be really good. And there's no rule that more than both those guys can't be really good. There were 5 guys taken in round 1. Statistically speaking, about half end up working out, half don't. Hopefully the Jets made the right choice, and Zach is in that half that does end up working out. But there's no rule that both those guys can't be good. It doesn't have to be like an either-or proposition here. I think that's important to know. Now, Stan tweeted me a question to answer in today's video. So before I forget, I want to address Stan's question here. He writes in, what do you think of Seattle this year? Vegas has their over-under at 10. Thinking about their first-round pick next April, do you think there's a shot they collapse in the NFC West? I think it'd be very hard to imagine Seattle collapsing. Like, the Jets are not going to get, a top 5 pick from the Seattle Seahawks. The only way that could happen is if something tragic happened, to Russell Wilson, because Seattle's just too good with Russ at quarterback. Do I think they're going to win 12 games again like they did last year? No, I don't. I think 10 is probably an accurate number for where they're going to be. Not that I think Seattle got worse, but I think their division got better, right? Let's start with the obvious. Jared Goff is gone for the Rams. Matt Stafford is an upgrade at quarterback. I think the Rams are an improved team. The Niners last year lost all their key players, including Jimmy Garoppolo, their starting quarterback. They're back. Garoppolo's back. I think the Niners are still a team that you got to respect in that division, and respect as a team that could, win that division again. And then I think the Cardinals, with Kyler Murray going into year 3, an improved football team now. And I think Cliff Kingsbury could be coaching for his job this season with the Cardinals. So I say all that to say, I still think Seattle's a good football team. I don't think they're going to win 12 games, though. So maybe that pick for the Jets could be a little higher than a pick 23 last year. But I don't think it's going to be like what happened with the Texans in the Larrabee Tunsil trade, where they traded their 1 to Miami. They end up going 4-12, and that was the 3rd overall pick in the draft for the Dolphins. Like, I don't think the Jets are going to get that lucky with Seattle. Seattle's still going to be a really good football team as long as Russell Wilson is their quarterback. So, yeah, no doubt Jet fans root against Seattle. The more losses they have, the better pick you have. But I'm not expecting, a full-on collapse from Seattle. I still think they're a team that at the end of the year, as long as Russell Wilson's their quarterback, I think Seattle's going to be a team that is going to make the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. Rich writes in, Jake, are you going to be doing play-by-plays? Rich, I'll be doing videos before all the Jet games this year, and obviously we will have some reactionary videos after the games this year. So I hope that's what you mean by play-by-plays, and we'll continue to produce daily Jets content. That's what we do here on the channel. It's been a lot of fun to do it, and I'm looking forward to continuing the Jet conversation as the season kicks off officially on Sunday. Jordan writes in, Zach Wilson will set a rookie record for touchdown passes. Wouldn't that be nice, Jordan? Wouldn't that be nice? I'm not going to go that far, but look, 17 games. I said it on yesterday's video. I think Zach Wilson becomes the first Jets quarterback since Joe Namath to throw for 4,000 plus yards in a season. Now, it's 17 games. Namath did it in 14 games, which is a testament to how great Joe Namath was in his time. And if he played in today's era, there is no doubt that Joe Namath would be setting records season after season with the way the rules are and the way the offense is now past the football. Namath was so far ahead of his time, but it's something to be said for the fact that he's the only one in the history of the franchise that's ever thrown for 4,000 yards in the season. I'm saying that Zach Wilson does it this year, and he's got the extra game to do it. I think he has to average 235 passing yards per game to hit that mark. I think Zach Wilson throws for over 4,000 yards this year for the New York Jets and, becomes only the second player in franchise history to do exactly that. VR writes in, if the Jets O-line protects Zach Wilson, then he will do good this season. Yeah, look, that's obvious, right? Sam Darnold never had great protection. If Zach Wilson gets some really good protection, if the offensive line can open up some running holes, specifically on the left side where you have Becton, you have Vera Tucker, keep the defense on the field, long sustained drives, it's going to help Zach Wilson. It's going to help this offense. I think the Jets O-line is vastly improved. Morgan Moses is an upgrade over what they've had. They have depth with George Fant, who's played well this summer. Vera Tucker is solid. Becton is the key to all this. I think he's a all-pro caliber tackle. Hopefully he could prove he could stay healthy this year over the course of the full season and be that guy that protects Zach Wilson's blind side for years to come. So I'm very optimistic about where this offensive line is right now. Not Jets related, but if Baker doesn't take the Browns to the playoffs, do you let him walk, trade for Rodgers? They're not going to let him walk. It's not as easy just, you let him walk. They picked up his fifth-year option. I think they sign him long-term, assuming Baker plays like he did last year. I mean, trade for Rodgers. Who knows if Rodgers is even definitely leaving the Packers? I've said a lot on the radio. I don't necessarily buy it. I think winning is a great deodorant for everything. If they go out there and have a great season, let's say Green Bay goes to the Super Bowl, is Aaron Rodgers really going to walk away? I find it hard to believe. So we shall see how it plays out, but I don't think Baker Mayfield is going anywhere but Cleveland going forward. Let's see. We'll take a couple more here as we wrap up for a Wednesday video. All the positive Wilson talk is surreal. I can't believe it. Yeah, be excited. I mean, there's a lot of people that try to poo-poo the Jet fan excitement for Zach Wilson. Why? We just had to sit through awful football for 2 years with Adam Gase, and then before that, Todd Bowles. This team hasn't made the playoffs in 10 years. Jet fans should be excited. They're great fans. Jet fans should be excited about this kid. He's looked great in the preseason. People have raved about him internally. His teammates love him. Anyone that's watched Zach Wilson, that does the homework on quarterbacks, knows what Zach Wilson can bring to the table, right? The comments that Romo has made, and Collinsworth, and Teddy Bruschi, and Marcus Spears, and Dan Orlovsky, just guys that know quarterbacks, that watch Wilson, put on the tape, point out what he does well. You should be really excited about Zach Wilson. Doesn't mean he's not going to have bad games. Doesn't mean he's not going to make some mistakes. But there should be a genuine excitement for Zach Wilson this year because he looks the part of a franchise quarterback. And as Jet fans, you got to have something to be excited about. And I'm excited about this head coach, and I'm excited about this young quarterback. There's no doubt about that. That's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate all of you for watching. If you are one of the 100+ people watching right now, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button down below. Like the video. Subscribe if you're a new viewer of this channel. Thanks so much for watching. One day closer to Jets football. Tomorrow, the NFL season actually starts with the Bucs and the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football down in Tampa. It's going to be a great week. I appreciate all of you for watching. Once again, my name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. Talk to you guys soon.